Hello, hello, beautiful souls. It is so beautiful to be here in this space with you in the ever lovely, ever growing high vibe sister tribe, sister tribe. I've absolutely loved this space since its inception and conception, right? And I'm really happy to be here getting to share this one-on-one or one-on-many energy with you. So I am Meghan Rose. If you do not know me, I am a spiritual activation teacher. I specialize in activating your gifts and your abilities and your healing skills and your energetic mastery and manifesting powers. It's really what I live for. I live and breathe this work. It's really what I do all day, every day. It's what I do for fun. It's what I would choose to do no matter what. So thank you for being here. Say hi when you pop on. Hello, Bonnie. I'm going to keep this up to, sometimes the comments are a little weird, so I'm just going to refresh it on the page. Make sure I can see your comments here as well. Okay. Hello, fellow Meg. Beautiful to see you. Hello, Liz. It is going to be a really powerful session today. Hello, Haley. It is beautiful to see you. So, yeah, so we are, I kind of want to just get right into it, right? I can share an intro later, about the deeper work that I do. You're going to get to experience the deeper work that I do, so I don't really feel I want to take too much time up talking about me. You're going to get to see the message, the energy, the mission work. This is it that I've brought forth. So I really believe that the Aura Akashic Alignment Method and Academy is part of my big mission work. It's a brand new healing and manifestation modality that helps you literally address all the layers, right? So many of you have likely taken chakra courses and aura courses or studied how to heal ancestral wounds, tapped into your past lives, right? Got past life readings, of course, tons of beautiful inner child work that we all do, right? So the Aura Akashic Alignment Academy or method is a full-on merging of all of that. I'll briefly show you my little chart here. This is how we work. So this is dowsing work. This is you and your higher self. You're going to receive activations to be able to truly beautifully and effectively tap into your higher energy skills, your higher power skills, to be able to douse and divine and go into your own magic. And on this, you're going to see this whole thing, but we're going to go through a whole session, but I will briefly talk about it. So what we are doing here is working with universal laws. We are taking a cord, this cord, by the way, I decided, or it decided, it's always it decided that today's release that we're going to do is lack of financial well-being. So you guys are getting a money clear by me. The last time that I did a money worthiness masterclass, which was fucking epic, and I charged $111 per person for that. People were literally, there was a $10,000 win, there was a $5,000 win, there was a $4,000 win. Someone got married. Someone reached out to their soulmate because it was worthiness, right? Money worthiness. So when you release worthiness issues, you're going to find abundance in all areas of your life, right? So yeah, so I'm excited to do that. So in basic, right, I'll go, don't mind me, there's so much and so excitement when I do this that I might get a tiny bit going here and there, but it's all tying together, right? It's all tying together. So why I wanted to bring up the release, what we do is we all know that we have issues, right? We know that we have blocks. Sometimes things like lack of financial well-being, we know that that's an issue, right? We might be striving for more clients, better raise, better jobs, so on and so forth, getting really tired of the way that the Our nervous systems are getting destroyed by the month living, right? But in many cases, you probably don't know what the actual core discord is, like what the issue is. And even if you're lucky enough to be like, oh man, like I know that that's fear, right? Like fear of success, fear of failure, like that comes up all the time. I know that it's fear, but how the hell do I get that out of my body, right? And if I get it out of my body somewhere, do I actually know that I've gotten it out everywhere? So that's what this is. This 2021 was such a birthing year for me. But this took many lifetimes, of course, to bring forth. But once I realized the culmination of what the Aura Akashic Alignment Academy was, I realized why I kept not putting it off, but it was like, no, it's not ready yet. There's more coming in. It's not ready yet. There's more coming in. It's not ready yet. There's more coming in. And that's the art of being an energetic master and being able to hold space for the divinity that wants to come in through you. So with this, we're going to take the big release that we've decided on, lack of financial well-being in this case. I'm really so excited to see what comes forth for this, for you guys, like lots of good wins, guys. So what we do then is we go down a big list. Why don't I show you this page? We go down a big list of questions. This is like the step-by-step. Most of this up here are questions. Getting to the point. It's where in the auric field is this? First, we're going to find out what the discord is. We do that by tapping in to one of the core chakras, where there are 7 core discords and there are 7 core reclamations. Once we find out which chart we're working on, I'll show you that more specifically. Hello, Allie, by the way, and Zuska and Luna and everybody else that's saying hi. I'm not going to scroll up because that's when my computer goes crazy. Know that I love you and appreciate you being here, and I'm really excited to be sharing this with you. So, yeah, so once we know what we want to deal with, we very first find the core discord. It's going to be hiding out in one of our chakras, because your chakra vortexes are how your divinity and spirit expresses through you. So there's going to be one core area where this is like you need to deal with a release there before you're ever going to find movement, healing, manifesting in other areas of your life. Once you find that and you know what it is, then we're going to ask, like, let's just say in this case, the root chakra comes up, which it could. I think it did in money worthiness. Let's just say that trepidation is a core discord. If you guys have tried to go live when you were first starting your businesses, because I know this is how I was like 3 years ago. All sorts of things. You're trying to put yourself out there and nobody's seeing it. You can't get yourself to even put yourself out there. You can't get yourself to ask for a raise, so on and so forth. There's this deep core trepidation that's stuck in you and that's blocking you. And this could be from so many reasons. So what we're going to do here is now, we're not just going to do a chakra clearing or a chakra healing. We're going to find out where it is in your aura, where it's stuck in your aura, right? Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, etheric, right? We are going to find out what genetic lineage it mostly comes from. Now, of course, there could be stems from both, but in this, we're always going for core. So paternal, maternal. We're going to go with what feminine or masculine qualities are most being affected from you. We are going to look at where this really stemmed in your life, inner child, adolescence, young adult. We are going to look at whether the main core discord of this started in a past life, or a current life. This is super important because a lot of people are like trying to do inner child work, which is worthy and beautiful, but not then paying attention to the fact that this could have actually started 8 lifetimes ago, and then this is why you keep coming in as the wounded child to experience this again. So all of this is getting taken care of. The 2 last ones that we have that are also big are conditioning. Is this mainly a religious, a cultural, a societal, or a familial conditioning that this is started from? And then there's basically, again, where is it lingering? Is this in the subconscious? Like, right, we got to go really deep. Is it a conscious level thing that we might see like even faster healing and movement from? Or is this even like up in the soul level, like higher consciousness? Again, a lot of times when super consciousness comes up, that also has a lot to do with like past lives. It's spirit work that needs to be dealt with. So you can see like kind of why I get so excited about this work is because as someone who has been in the spiritual world my entire life, right? Started working with like energy modalities like Reiki and stuff since I was 17 years old, and like, you know, out in the yard doing like my spell work, like you know, since before that. Very, very deeply involved in the study in the world, this world, for my entire life, right? Many lifetimes. And so when it came through that I could finally help my clients, like, because the frequency codes activations you're also going to feel, I'll save that for when we get into it. So really powerful DNA activations that I can offer, which shift you very quickly as well. But one of the things that was kept coming up is almost like the but how, or like, how do I go deeper? And like, if this thing is still coming up, like I saw shifts here, but now this thing is coming up. And it was always like, instead of like, book another session, or here's another code, or things like that, like, I'm a teacher. I want to pass on this information. I want to pass on the ability to you to be the divine healer of your own life and the energetic master of your own life. And that's what this is. It's helping you take, like, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 like healing journeys and modalities and things that people teach in these like pretty cool separate journeys, right? And being able to bring it together, right? Like, that's the Akash part of it, is coming together and saying, I am being given the ability to tap into the all-knowing and to find and locate finally the discord that this thing has been affecting me with, and to lift it, to use the quantum healing in this method and to lift it out of all of these areas. So we're not just locating it, we're gonna lift it out. We're gonna heal it out. We're gonna transmute and dissolve it. So I think I'll save the explanation for, because the other huge part, let me just end on this and then we're going to get going. The other huge part of this, and why this is truly such an effective modality, is because we're not just going in and releasing, right? Like clearing and pulling out and transmuting. The other huge half is that we're going to be reclaiming. So in the case of like trepidation, you'll see that after the end, once we locate it and then we pull it out, we locate all in the collective area where this is, and then we do the frequency code transmissions to get it out, to transmute, dissolve, release. We're going to reclaim the harmonics. This is where like the law of neutralization and the law of rhythm come in. I'll have to share articles in the coming days, like a little more about those. Just to go deeper again with this, like I really want to share the transmission with you guys. But just think about what it would be like to have the frequency of assurance, the harmonic frequency of being assured that every time you post an article, every time that you go live, every time that you decide that you are ready to follow a more aligned path, that it is going to be safe for you and right for you. And that the safe is really the key word there, because so many times in our spiritual lives, even and again in our other realms, we don't do things because we do not feel at a core level that we're safe. And so when a frequency, like the actual harmonic energy, and this is what the frequency codes are, is they return the harmonic source blueprints to you. Once that's installed into you and trepidation was taken out of all those areas, it's like you're walking around like a powerhouse. This is when the master manifestor, master healer vibes start to like totally come into your body, you know? So let's feel it. Let's go into it. And of course I'll riff more as we go through. Okay, beautiful. So, I'm going to sip some water. And then I think I do want to explain like one more thing before we get in. Do, of course, the entire time, feel free to drop questions, and like I will get back to them after the live. You know, I'll just come in and check out the comments and hang out with you guys after. So the one thing I do want to explain before we get into this is a full-on healing session. So like, I would not recommend this if you're driving, right? We are doing like true, hey Ash, we are doing full-on DNA activation, very powerful work. The frequency codes work with you on a cellular level and a soulful level. You will feel these. When we get into the release part, transmutation and dissolution part, you're going to feel this. Very much, it could be like pings and pangs in the body, tinglings, all sorts of vibrations, of course, hot cold, things like that. You're feeling the dense discords that were lodged in certain parts of you leaving as the harmonics of the frequency codes come in as these very powerful transmissions. So just know that when you are stepping into this work, you are stepping into powerful healing work that you're going to feel and be able to experience like real-time shifts from. Most all of those, what are they called? Wins, testimonials, if you will, client feedback after the money worthiness were like within days. Very, very quick effects that people were coming in and being like, yep, my boss just, you know, gave me a 4K bonus. Even though I had just gotten money, like a month or so ago, and he gave me a full bonus schedule for next year, which made what they wanted. Like they were manifesting like a 5-figure bonus. So with the 4K, there was like incentives, and what he was promising this year, because now this was last year, it was their 5K, 5 figures. And that wasn't the only one, right? So just expect shifts, expect wins, know that we're going deep into, you know, high, on high source level transmissions here and now. So as long as that you are ready and available for that, we'll go ahead and get started. Since, what was that? I have to get my pendulum out. So of course, like normally, like inside the Aura Akashic Alignment Academy, I would show you figures where you're going to like, you would see me doing this work, but when we're in transmissions, I just do it for you. Of course, inside the Academy, I'm teaching you how to do it for yourself. But this, so really what you can do, from the moment that we start, you're going to start feeling shifts. I'm probably going to start yawning from the very first question because that's how I shift. That's how I release. Once we really get into the full-on frequency codes, I'll likely also close my eyes and invite you to do so as well. But you can also feel free to just start getting comfy and cozy now, right? We're going to a beautiful healing transmission, so feel free to like sit back and allow this to be your time. Allow this to be for you. All right. So, like I said, just to recap, our main release and goal. A release, in this case, you can do goals. You can do them in the positive as well. So, but for this, it was a release. So we want to release any lack of financial well-being. I just loved it when that is what landed. I was first hearing lack. But it wasn't complete when I tapped into it and tested into it. So I really love that we're just getting that full-on energy, like giving each of you the ability to come into financial well-being, right? Because we're going to get the opposite. We're going to be able to experience the opposite of this. All right, we're starting our session, my friends. So I take my pendulum. We go ahead and hold it over the Aura Akashic Alignment Quantum Healing Body Chart. And we ask the question, what chakra is holding the core discord behind the lack of financial well-being? Yes, the second I start asking questions, I'm shifting. Okay, we got the solar plexus. So nice. So, let me ask this question and then I'll show you this chart real quick. The next thing we ask, so the core discord, there's always, I'll show it to you now. So the core discord, every single chakra has a core discord. So like the root chakra is fear. So in the solar plexus, what we're doing now is unfulfilled. So the core discord behind a lack of financial well-being is a feeling of unfulfilled. So one, of course, we're feeling unfulfilled from having a lack of financial well-being, but the flip side of that and kind of the the energetic trick of it is, if you will, being unfulfilled in life, like growing up unfulfilled or feeling unfulfilled in our relationships and in our roles, right, in our jobs and whatever it is, actually leads to more lack. If we're not feeling fulfilled in our cores, if this big energy of being unfulfilled is stuck in our bodies, it is going to be so much harder to experience financial well-being, because they're playing with each other. It's like, oh, I'm unfulfilled, yeah, and I'm broke. It's, they're telling the same story, right? It's the same vibration play there. So then what we do is we ask, good, is there another imprint that wishes to be released today? Oh no. So sometimes you can clear 2 imprints in one. It's kind of just like a cool little bonus. I actually find that when it says no, it means that the first one is like big. So the energy of unfulfilled is really big in this collective. Of course, this is quantum healing. So this is intended and already set in place for every beautiful soul who will ever watch this. All of you lovely souls who are on, and everybody who is intended to ever witness this experience. This is for you. So, well, I'm still going to show you, but even though we didn't get a second imprint. So you can see there are 7 core discords and there are 7 core reclamations. So these were all direct channeled energies. I did not make these up. My human self doesn't make up the frequency codes or the work that I do. I am so intertwined and ingrained. Like I said, I really spend much of my time in both worlds, and it's just how I become such a proper, clear channel over time of this work. So all of these were selected as the main issues, right? What they call core discords that can be bothering the solar plexus, that can be making it so that there is a need for healing. And then these 7 core reclamations: content, satisfied, triumphant, fulfilled, blissful, exultant, significant, are what your body will use to greatly heal itself from these issues. So beautiful. We got solar plexus, and that is unfulfilled. We're going to move on. So then we ask, oh, hey, other Ashley. Beautiful to see you too. All right, so then we ask, has this discord affected our body, right? We're asking about physical conditions, and if so, where? So we're getting a yes. And maybe not surprisingly, although like in this work you do get all sorts of different areas, we're right in the abdomen and the stomach. So really solar plexus area, That whole area, they're just circling. It went straight around the abdomen and even down into the sacral. So for this, I'm saying like abdomen, stomach is what we're going to write down. And so that whole area is going to get cleared when we do the release. All right, now we get to dive into the areas. Was this created in our collective past or current life? The feeling, the core discord of unfulfilled. Okay, so they're wanting to clear current. This is good. It's not that past life is bad. I clear with burping too. So when things like current or consciousness like come up, it's almost like it's a little easier to see the clearing, right? Because we're only going to deal with like, you know, these past 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever years, however old you are on. So that's cool. Which also means the shifts that you can see with this can be even more powerful and even quicker. On what level of our awareness does this exist? This is the superconscious or sub. Oh, cool. I'm probably going to clear on every single question, guys. Feel free to like tap into the energy around them within your body, because if you are sensitive at all, you'll be feeling this already. I said, oh, cool, because we're in the conscious. So you guys stay in touch with me about the shifts that you experience from this. Any wins and stuff like that come in. Any financial well-being, abundance, prosperity, etc., etc. All right, so what conditioning? We're going into religious, familial, cultural, or societal. What conditioning has mostly affected us regarding this? That makes sense. Societal is what came up. So we are deeply, there is such an unfulfilled energy as our roles. I mean, we're in high vibe Sistar tribe. So it's almost, I mean, actually my last round of Aura Akashic Alignment Academy wound up being 32 powerful women. So it was kind of cool really to be in that Sistar tribe energy. And so with this, like especially societal conditionings for us in our ability to experience financial well-being. I mean, literally like financial equality is like screaming at me in my face right now. It's just there, right? Like literally today we're still being paid, less, less than our equals. On the other spectrum. So it's huge. And even our roles, like still expected to play out certain roles, can lead to a very, very unfulfilled energy. So good. We're going to get rid of that. What auric layer is harboring this density the most? Yeah, emotional auric layer. So especially with the emotional auric layer, because it's and like tying into the societal and the being unfulfilled. The other thing, I'm just going to come up and say it, right? Because you kind of just have to do that as the mouthpiece. But motherly energies are coming up, as in like, it's not like regretting, right? But it's like feeling unfulfilled in a motherly role, because it like affects so much when it comes to our financial well-being. Like feeling unfulfilled that we can't do more, I can't do more literally because like of time, who's gonna watch the kids if I'm trying to do these things. And then even just in that role at all, the role of the caretaker, running the entire house, expecting to run the entire household and have the fulfilling, financially well-off career, right? Like literally the superwoman energy is coming up. And the shit is, like, why I why I had to speak that is because we fucking keep this stuff in, right? We hide it. So in our emotional bodies, like it's almost tacky to say that you're unfulfilled as a mother, but it's there. It's a big thing, especially again when it comes to like our financial well-being. So emotional. And again, guys, that is just one layer that wanted to come up, but it was the whole idea of like harboring things that we hide out. It feels like that needed to be spoken. Of course, there could be other layers in our emotional bodies why we feel unfulfilled. I'm going to sip some water again because I just talk during this. Okay. So at what age did this program become installed? So that's a big question with this, because we're not saying that different aspects in our life couldn't have like reinstalled. Actually, we didn't even talk about layers and programs, which we'll get into a tiny bit. Of course, this is just like, I really want this to be a transmission, so we're not like deep diving. But just in basic, we're asking like, what was the major time, right, that this started being an issue in our collective fields? Shifting. All right, so adolescence is coming up. Adolescence in this energy is like 7 to 13. It makes sense. This is when it's not, again, that things we couldn't have understood or took on things before that. But in that age, like we're really starting to kind of understand money and to understand that things were messed up, right, in our house. To understand like the importance of money and things like that, and taking on ways of how we feel when it comes to the abundance or the lack of, from our parental figures and so on. So adolescence makes a lot of sense. All right, so have our feminine or masculine qualities been mostly affected by this? Sorry, I like agree with what I'm seeing first, and then I have to shift, and then I can tell you. So it circled masculine pretty quickly. What this means, again, this even goes back into the career ideologies and things like that, and even with the mother aspects. We feel we have to be so on and so structured and so push, right? We just have to keep going. So we diminish and quiet down like our feminine needs and the flow and the softness and the creative energies, because in order to have financial well-being and to have well-being in our lives and in our families, we just have to keep pushing, right? You just have to pick up the extra shift, or you just have to, try and launch another course. You have to accept another client. So on and so forth. You just have to create more in your life. So lots of pushing. It also really ties into the emotional layer, because when we're more wounded in our masculine, we're hiding that emotional layer. Let it go, my friends, let it go. All right, and so the last big question for finding out like where this is hiding in our body, where the discord of unfulfilled is hiding out, is what lineage has this mostly been passed down from? Oh, we're getting maternal. So again, this is a collective reading. Nonetheless, like the collectives are still really powerful, so just lean into that. Feel free to, if something comes up and you're like, oh yeah, I can see where these unfulfilled energies come from. And again, it's not to say like that our fathers and that lineage, of course, can't have also unfulfilled energies. But with this, it seems like we're talking about a lot of repression. So the emotional auric layer, the societal conditionings, again, the motherhood theme is wanting to come up itself. And so it's very much, especially the farther that we go back in maternal, lines is suppression. I mean, literally thinking back to like our parents and the grandparents, right? And like the decades that they were born in. So maternal. Very beautiful thing to be able to clear in this amazing feminine group here. All right, so the next question here, it's not on this chart, but the question we ask is, are there layers that want to clear? So it's coming up no, so I'm not going to really go too deeply into this, but basically there's another chart. So layers is still really big, and like really fully the magic behind it. But in basic, it's like every time if we experience a lack of financial well-being and we feel unfulfilled in our lives, like honestly, many of you might not even know that you felt like that it was unfulfilled, that it was. But if you experience a lack of financial well-being in your life, every time like you get your paycheck and like you look at the taxes and you're like, WTF, man, like why do you take all that? Or it's like, oh, the money's out the window again. Or right, like the kid asked for something from Target. Whose kid asked them to go to Target like 4 times a week? Like my baby just wants to live there. And it's like every time you're like, ugh, in my head, it's like the bank account is not feeling your 4 trips a week to Target. Every time you superimpose any type of lack, which is what are we going to do? But also every time like you think, again, the like inner child triggers come up. It's basically every time your mind ingrains it again, there's a layer and there's a layer and there's a layer. So if you think about money stuff a few times a day, and there's 365 days in a year, right? That's, you know, thousands of layers. And honestly, it's probably more than that because thoughts are like this, right? Even subconscious thoughts and all of that. Every time you look at something and like, you're like, oh, I can't afford it. Those are layers. And in an energetic sense, like when I'm working one-on-one with people, it's crazy. You can like feel someone's layers. It's like this thick, like think of it almost like layers and as a piece of paper. So like one tiny piece of paper isn't going to do anything, but you stack up 1,000 of these, and then we have this big thick wall around us when it comes to even being able to clear it in the first place. So it's saying that it doesn't need to go into it today, which I feel is kind of because like we're working on current life and we're working on consciousness level. So it's kind of like, it's like, hey, you're here, we're ready to clear this. But it is an important aspect of this. So, all right. So we're getting into the clear, like into the clear now. Once we have located it, we know now that this lack of financial well-being is stemming from a core discord of feeling unfulfilled in our lives. It is located in the solar plexus. It's affecting the abdomen and the stomach and the body. So also think of all those organs in there, right? If it wanted a specific organ, it would have been more targeted on the paper. For this, it's just like, nope, it's this area. So we are clearing and going deep into the way that this has affected our current lives. We are clearing out the way that societal pressuring and conditioning has installed this into us. It also kind of really helps clear that in a collective sense as well when we're doing conditioning. We're going to deeply go ahead and clear the emotional auric layer to like allow the feelings of unfulfilled to finally come up and be loved and nurtured and then released. We are going back to our adolescence. It's a nice little range of years there, and really helping all of those imprints and all of those layers, all of those programs that came into our lives at that time to again be loved and nurtured, and to have then those imprints released, dissolved, and transmuted. And we're also going to lovingly allow this to balance our masculine energies to really heal that wounded masculine so that we can come back into more flow with our feminine natures. And we're also going to allow this to deeply go in and to transmute and dissolve and release any harmful cords and attachments that we have been passed down through our maternal line. And of course, this also greatly helps them as well. Here we go, my friends. At this point, well, yeah, you know what? So for codes, I go in and out. Normally I'm actually going to like be reading the chart while I do this to you. So I probably won't be too much of my eyes closed. If I was receiving this healing, I would want to get cozy right now. I'd close my eyes. You know, I'd just sit back, relax your muscles. Just one more reminder, we are going into full-on DNA transmissions here. Very powerful, source-born, harmonic, and loving work. Continue to relax your body. Go ahead and allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. I'm going to ask you to bring your energy center down into your sacred heart. And from this central point, the frequency code release is beginning now. So one of the beautiful things about this is that all of the things that we just brought up are going to be getting amazing healings and releases and transmutations and dissolutions. But when you are looking at this process, this quantum healing process that you'll be learning, or that I'm doing right now with this divine dowsing work, it doesn't just clear those, right? So we're getting like this really beautiful clearing from the spiritual auric layer through our inner childs. So the huge thing that's wanting to come up with that, like the message is to remember and activate your divine birthright as abundant star children, as daughters of the great universe. We're going back to the core, to the conception, to your origin here in this lifetime on this planet. And we're clearing out the wounding that came through that told you that you were separated in the first place, and that this planet has a much, much denser field of existence, and in many times our families a much, much denser experience from our former spirits. We're clearing out the unfulfilling energies from the get-go. So, oh yeah, and now looking down and it's that was a big clear. It was clearing the root in the inner child. So again, what happens when we first come here and when we are little babies and young children. This is our stability, it's our foundation, it's our safety, it's our security. So know that that's getting a deep clearing now. And now the sacred pendulum is moving up and down the right side of your body. When the pendulum moves straight up and down the chart, we're getting a really deep balancing and correction. So right where masculine is one of the things that came up, the wounded masculine. So it's just clearing that whole side. Go ahead and tap into the right side of your body. Feel free to, release yourself to stretch out if you feel called to do so. See where it's going here. It's being very purposeful. Okay, so we're doing a line clear from masculine energy to your conscious self. So basically what this is asking is, where do you know that you're out of balance? Where do you know that you're too far in your masculine? Where do you know that wounded masculine energy is presenting itself? Because it's asking for your awareness and for your nurturing. Like, it's getting cleared and honored and nurtured right now, but it's specifically wanting me to convey that to you as well. Oh, that was big. All right, and now it's going to go through the masculine line to the societal conditioning. So again, what made us, right? What's being cleared now is what made us not be able to be safe in our feminine creativity, our feminine divinity, our feminine flow, our feminine expressions. What's what made us be go, go, go. And if I'm not on all the time, then I'm not safe. So that's very much being cleared, and they're being very purposeful of going across the heart chakra for that one as well. If you if you actually tap in there into your center heart, you might even feel like palpitation. Just a lot of energy clearing from there. This work is very, very safe and natural, my friends. All right, so there's 3 codes that we bring forth in this part. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the second. Well, it is 3, but it's a combined code. So I'm going to bring in the other ones. The frequency code, transmutation and dissolution are beginning now. Hello, Ina. We went through a pretty big explanation at the beginning, so just stay here for the beautiful ride if you are called, because it's a very beautiful healing we're in the midst of, and then go ahead and watch the beginning. Or if you'd really like, you can just hop off and catch the replay once it's available, if you'd rather start from the very beginning. They're being very purposeful about clearing that root chakra again. It's a pretty big thing, but of course it makes sense, because if there's a lack of financial well-being, you're not secure, you're not safe, you're not stable. You don't feel like you can present as yourself. This again goes against the divine feminine flow and just being able to express your gifts and be abundantly paid for them, right? To not just have to go, to be able to live in your passion, to express your true mission and power. All of that does not flow well when there are, core wounds in the root. And again, this is what I absolutely love about this modality too, is because we're clear in the solar plexus, but it doesn't mean it's going to ignore other issues where this is presenting. It's a full on energetic healing and clearing here. All right, and now it's going straight up to the maternal line. So we are going to address that. It's going the maternal line and to the current life. So again, think of, your actual mother, actual grandmother, grandfather on that side, so on and so forth. I wouldn't stay too far back, even though of course in genetics, like this can go farther back. For me, what's coming up, so we're dealing with current and we're dealing with conscious. So it feels like this lifetime blood energy, like the relatives you would have known, were experiencing deep releases from their core wounds, from the wounds that they brought through, from feeling unfulfilled and passing on the energy of lack of financial well-being. All right, yep. and since we're on that sign going through maternal and feminine, it's now moving up and down the chart, and we're just going to do a full-on balance. Go ahead and tap into the left side of your bodies. Again, even so, the energetic sensitive, you guys should be absolutely feeling the frequency code work as long as you allow yourself to tap in. But in many cases, most people who are new to energetic work, as long as you ask, right, like, okay, here, I'm going to focus, you'll feel it too. Because again, this is source-born, very on-high harmonic work. All right, beautiful. It's shifting again. Let's see where it wants to go. All right, so this time they're being very purposeful about circling the solar plexus, right? The cord, this cord as well, and going ahead and hitting that societal conditioning. So we're really going deep. Any feelings, any energies of unfulfilled are exiting the solar plexus when it comes to societal judgments, expectations. Release, 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 transmute, transmute, transmute. It's now being very purposeful about also crossing the sacral chakra. Remember when we were doing the physical issues, it wanted to circle the abdomen and the stomach. So it's going to clear out any issues that are in that lower stomach area as well. Oh. Very beautiful. We have tiny, tiny circles going around the root. I know this is an interesting part of our body physically, but if you want to tap into the root, we're doing a release right down there. Again, you're likely able to feel it. Okay. And now this aspect, the pendulum always stops when it is ready, when basically the release, the transmutation, the dissolution aspect of this has completed, has been effective. And now we are going to go into the reclamation. Again, you never want to leave something. Think of it so like a cord, this cord has been in the body for so long. It's been in there for so long that it can start to act like a solid part of us. Real, like when you hear the word density, like again, as a healer, when I'm working in one-on-one, you can feel, clearing, clearing, clearing. You can feel these densities in someone's body very easily when I'm going down. I can tell you where all of your densities are very quickly. And it's because I feel them. They're real solid energetic blocks. So when you release those and you transmute it and you dissolve it, you want to add back into it. The reclamation of this part is not only like super healing and nurturing and soothing to those parts of us that we just released, because even though it's a cord, discord, and you don't want it in your body, you did just release something that has been in your body for some time. But it's also the part that's going to help you continue to elevate and to balance and to see these shifts in even quicker and more effective ways, choosing harmony over discord. So what we do in this part is we take out the solar plexus chart again, and we just tap back in. What is the core reclamation that can most effectively counteract, balance, and harmony the core discord of unfulfilled? The beautiful content. So content is our top reclamation. I love when that one comes up. Just again, think of the energy. You could use that in any sentence. I am content in my motherhood. I am content with my salary. I am content with the number of clients I have a week. I am content with the amount of money I make every single month. I am content with my financial well-being. That word is everything. And what I need you to understand here is that we are not just playing with words. I want you to know how powerful your words are. Absolutely powerful. They are essences and vibrations themselves. So content, right? Well, when you're about to feel it, but just feel that now, like saying that I am content with my finances, right? Use it in all your sentences. That will be your homework as we go forth, like using content in all of your areas. Writing down 33 statements that start with I am content with. Yes. So we're about to get to feel it, but I love that content is what wanted to come up. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. All right. So content. It's we're going back into the same essence of what we just did with the release, but instead of releasing, you're going to get to feel the frequency code reclamation. We pull in, so in this case, it'll be the emotional auric layer harmonization frequency code. You always bring in the harmonization auric layer of whatever the main auric layer was needing the most love. In this case, so again, we're probably about to experience some really happy, joyful, even giddy energies, because when you get emotional harmonization, it's like soulfully intense, like lovingly intense. And then the third one that we experience with this is divine wholeness, all together, because like experiencing those feelings is going to be quite amazing. But this is like, having your cake and eating it too, right? We want wholeness. So we want these feelings in the physical, in the mental, in the spiritual, and all of our chakras. We want divine wholeness. So we're going to experience that now. And then it just goes back through. We start once again here on our chart with the powerful dowsing abilities activated, and the frequency code reclamation is beginning now. Beautiful. Oh, it's wanting to go. I just got to move this back a tiny bit. So the pendulum can do some very amazing swings and clears. I teach all of these inside the academy, the different things that you will see on the paper. So one of the ones that it does is basically like an auric, auric clear, auric reclamation. And it kind of looks like the pendulum, here if I can lift it up, like it kind of looks like it's going crazy, like it's just like going all over the place. But when you really tap into the core swing, what it's doing is performing like one of those like atomic symbols. And so this is when we're going into a multi-dimensional clear. I was about to say auric, but it's not auric. Auric is actually a circle. So it's like when we're actually tapping into your multi-dimensional self, your quantum self, again, like going deep into the Akash, it's basically like, you know what? We're going to reclaim this on everything. So it likes to be specific. Like we just saw some very specific tags, like when we were doing the release. But when we get into that multi-dimensional clear, it's like, okay, baby, we're going to reclaim it all for you. So the frequency code content is being brought forth into your entire multi-dimensional experience across all time, space, and dimension, my friends. You are content. You have the ability to be content. Own your ability to be content. You have the ability to witness deep, fast, and lasting change in all areas of your life. Yes, in your financial well-being, but in all areas. Like I said, when they want to go multi-dimensional, they're like, here's a gift, here's a blessing. We're going to do it. Oh. Amazing. So it's moving into a full circle swing right now. So since that is an auric layer swing, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the frequency code emotional auric layer harmonization is beginning now. Wow. So one, the giddy and happy is coming up for me, but if you guys tap into your abdomen and your stomach, like where we were depleted, where the collective, where all of this energy was depleted from unfulfilled, it's like vibrating. And it's almost so like, you know, when that like giddy feeling, like when you go down hills, like real quick and stuff like that, wee feeling, right? That's like what is stemming up from there. So beautiful, right? Because it's being filled back in. This is what the harmony of the codes do, is they are filling you back in with literally harmony itself, but harmony broken down into all of its different themes. So right now, content and emotional harmonization. Everything that can mean for you, my friend. So yes, this is collective, but an emotional auric layer harmonization is very personal, you know, to each of us, and what this can do for you right here and now and as you move forward. Because this is a gift that keeps giving. This whole method, the frequency codes, they are absolutely a gift that stay with you. It's just wanting to stay in this swing, so we're going to let it. Obviously, that's a very, very big endeavor, right? To bring in emotional harmonization with all the things that we are wounded with throughout our lives. Again, very, very specifically, yes, you know, anything that our financial or lack of financial well-being has affected us. But once we go into emotional harmonization, auric frequency codes, it's, again, it's like a gift and a blessing of the whole gamut. It really activates that parasympathetic nervous system and just helps you start to be able to like be calm, be relaxed, be receptive. You know, where you were in fight or flight before because you had all these woundings inside the emotional auric layer, you're going to start to be able to feel a reprieve. I call it like, it's why I'm breathing so much. It's like, it's a chance to breathe. Your body, your energy, your aura is getting a chance to breathe again. All right, so it looks like we're coming in here. We're coming into a solar circle. Let me see where it wants to go. All right, so we're going directly up the Sushumna. I'm actually surprised this is the first time it did this because we normally get these in clear, so it's here, so we normally get them and it's here. So that's fine whenever it wanted to come in. Since this movement itself, when we are going up and down the Sushumna, this is chakra clearing, right? This is your light body clearing. This is your light pillar clearing. It's giving you the ability to experience yourself as your whole divine, vast, beautiful being in palpable ways. And so we're going to just allow this to come through. And since it is such a big energy like that, I will call in the last code here. The frequency code, divine wholeness, is beginning now. So allow this one to be what it needs to be for you, right? So we're in the entire, if you don't know, the entire Sushumna column, right? Really straight from Great Central Sun through all of your sacred higher transpersonal chakras, through your crown, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar, your sacral, your root, down into your subpersonal chakras, and then into like all of you, your meridians, everything. This is a light body clearing, recalibration, right? Restructuring into the frequencies of harmonization, of contentment itself, allowing that to be with you, to be in you, to be of you. All right, so we're shifting. It's wanting to honor the maternal line as well as the current life. So sending these blessings of reclamation, contentment, divine wholeness, and emotional harmonization back into your maternal line. Back into all of the yous, all of the versions of yourself, all of the experiences that you had in this current life, and now it's moving to hit that adolescence. Bringing back the frequency of contentment and emotional harmonization into the quantum self that is still in adolescence. Allowing this to bridge time and space to bring through these harmonic experiences to the little yous and to all of your sacred centers that needed it at that time. We're getting a lot of big root clears on this one. It's not surprising. Again, even when it's, our core discords in the solar plexus, but it doesn't mean that it's not causing issues in the rest of the body, right? So we're just bringing the frequency of contentment into the root chakra, into our ability to have stability, to have worthiness, to have a sacred foundation that is built on our financial well-being. All right, and it's come to a stop again. I'm going to gently lay it down. I'm going to allow for these frequencies to come together, to culminate. So we have one more thing, and I need your help. I'm going to take the back of my chart here. So the other big aspect of this that is, again, really equally important, I just want to bridge this the right way, right? We're only in like one transmission. So the energy that we're about to go into is called the program dump. So we just did really big magical work there with releasing lack of financial well-being. And we took care of that core discord, lots of clearing, of unfulfilled. Now, when it comes to imprints and programs and layers, so imprints, which is really what these things are, like shame, disappointed, disenchanted, disgruntled, perturbed, depressed, displeased, all these energies that come into our lives. We get those emotions from different times in our lives, different times that we have had money issues, or when we told that money was bad. Right? So anything that has affected us throughout our lives, or that is a current program running in our life, we want to dump it now. So what I'm going to ask of you is, when you hear lack of financial well-being, I'm going to write this in the center of my page. Lack of financial. What comes up? It could literally be, it's anything. This is a program dump. You are giving yourself the ability now to release all the side tendrils, all those little errant programs, the false discords. Anything can come up. So when you hear that, you could literally, you could hear something like, I'm bad with money. I don't know how to save money. My job sucks. Financial inequality. You might see your mother, right? You might see your father. You might hear that money is the root of all evil. It's anything that is attached to this idea. So lack of financial well-being, it could be depressed. How am I going to get a job? Who's going to pay me? I'm not worthy. What I need, you beautiful souls who are honest, to please help me out, because otherwise it doesn't. I can write down my own, but this is a collective clearing. We are in here. We are doing a program dump. And so you're going to share them in the comments, any thoughts, any emotions, any sayings, anything that comes up. And I'm going to write them down. And then we are going to get them out of the body with the neutralize frequency code. This is like the third sealing aspect of this modality, and really what makes it that much more powerful. So don't be shy now, my friends. This is a safe space. This is, this is in here. We mostly probably have the same experiences. I'm going to start writing some down, but again, I can tap into the collective energy, but it's going to be that much more powerful if you will share what comes up. Literally anything along those lines when you hear lack of financial well-being. So I am going to write I'm not worthy, because that's a huge one. You're not worthy of financial well-being. Yeah. So like picking and choosing. I won't be able to afford the full version of what I want. I will have to choose to have less to have anything. Not being able to afford all that I want. Not being able to afford all that I want. And for whatever reason, Jody, I'm feeling called to write 2. So not being able to afford all that I want. And then I'm going to write settling, because that's a huge theme too. That's actually been coming up for me lately. I'm like addicted to house shows, right? And it pains me when I see people say things like, oh, well, we can make it work. Like when they're talking about like, getting a less bedroom or a less bathroom or like a tiny place. Oh, well, we can make it work, right? And it's like, if you would just, it kills me. Like, but that's an energy of it. We think we have to settle in order to make it fucking work. I'm sorry. Yeah, not having the resources available to do whatever I want. Know that all of the codes are still with us, my friends. You can very much still feel this. It's always in the highest good, but you can very much still feel this for even a few days as this comes into your own deeper experiencing. Yeah, I'm hungry. Not enough money for food. Very survival based. Very survival based, because when you have that ingrained in your body, it's like buying the other things that you want, even when there's money in the bank, is so hard, because I need money for food, right? Even if you have the money, I can't. I need money for food. Your little child's gonna stop that. I'm hungry. I'm being called to write down survival itself as a second one, like I'm hungry and survival. Yeah. No home, homeless. People can see how dirty you are. So yeah, judgment. No home, homeless. I'm being called to write down judgment, but also I want to write your words, because it's important to allow your words, no matter what, to come down. This does not have to be logical. The program dump does not have to be logical, because the things that are stuck in your head are not logical most of the time, right? We can call them intrusive thoughts. They're programs and they're imprints from things that are not really us. It does not have to make sense why they're in there. The more that we can even accept and like get out the things that don't make sense to us, is the better, right? We're going to neutralize the hell out of these. People can see I'm dirty. Yeah, that's a big one for me, Jody, that it's hard. It's hard. If I make more money, then it's going to be harder. It's a big thing with me too. To make a lot of money has to be stressful. Lots of money equals stress. I'm going to, for like 5 seconds, because I want to be in this, but I was having a dream last night where like, I was I was the driver, I was going somewhere, and my car was completely out of control. It's always like when I steer it, it just goes insane. I can't brake, like it was dark and snowing out. And this is always how it is. I can't drive in my dreams. And so I woke up thinking, I was like, I wonder why people can't drive in their dreams, thinking it was a collective thing. Some people like you can't punch, or like if you're trying to get away from someone, you run like a snail, right? But it's not a collective thing. It's a stress thing that like my subconscious feels out of control. And so I had this huge wake up call this freaking morning, and I'm like, what? And I was like, that the whole day. And so talk about reclamation the whole day. I was like, F this. I was like, I'm in control. I get to be in control of my life. I get to do new things that support my body and my nervous system to be in control. Like I really thought it was everybody, dude. Nope. My subconscious is trying to tell me something, that I'm out of control. I can't drive. Yes, not feeling. I did write down worthy, but I'm not worthy, but I'm just gonna like sub that of not worthy, spending money on self, because that's a huge thing too. And this goes back, like, Allie, I don't think you have kids. Sorry if I'm wrong, but it's a huge thing with, like, I could buy my daughter something from Target. Not that I have this issue, but with it is a thing where it's like, well, I can't put money for myself because I have to put money into my house, or I need to give it all to my baby. Things like that. It's a huge thing. Not worthy of spending money on self. That also comes from childhood. If that's like how your parents were, kind of, it was hard for them to spend money on themselves. Yeah, I'm not safe to do what I love and be successful, Jesse. I mean, that's huge. Talk about unfulfilled. Huge is why we stay in careers and jobs and whatever that aren't what our soul wants us to be doing. Not safe to do what? I'm just going to chicken scratch this since you guys can't, it's okay. So I can get through it. But otherwise, like, you want to like write it out nice, because you're going to go back to these, right? That's the whole point of like passing on the entire modality. Excuse me, lots of clear. So we were clearing, just remember, we're clearing the stomach and the gut, right? Abdomen and the gut. So all sorts of stuff in there can want to clear out. I'm actually feeling like a little bit of like heartburn. And be successful. But yeah, so the whole point of, stepping into this full line of work, and the reason why I much rather act as my teacher self than my healer self, even though I'm a very powerful healer, because that's a one-off, right? It's a one-off. As a teacher, it's like, here, it's the fish thing, right? I'm so bad with like idioms and analogies when I'm talking live, but it's the teacher person, the fish thing, right? Let me show you how, and then you have this forever to go into it again and again and again, and to go into all of the different programs, to be able to go into your health and your wealth and your relationship issues, your worthiness issues, right? All of it. Yeah, you're too poor to ever fit in. Big, big, big. Just outsider energies. Too poor to fit in. That is so, Christy, I have such a freaking huge, it's actually much, and it's funny because it feels so ingrained that I'm saying I have such a huge thing, but I've healed this in very, very big ways. So, but it's the same. So Christy says, blah, blah, blah. If you buy frivolous stuff, you can't buy what you need to survive. So it's a huge thing where it's like, if I go out to the movies, that means my electric's going to get turned off, right? Because I shouldn't have been having fun money, because I need survival money. It's a very big condition in us. Bye. This is great, guys. This is great. You don't want to stop the programs until you sit there and you're like, right? You don't need to like make stuff up and pull it out of like left air, but like let it flow. Let it flow as long as it wants to flow. Get it all out. My frivolous equals no survival. Yeah, glass ceilings, my friend Allie, is a huge thing. That the idea of a glass ceiling, it's a very, again, when we're talking energetically, and this is why they talk about it, it's a glass ceiling, right? You can't see it, but it's effing there. It's the same thing with density blocks. It's like we create blocks around us when it comes to things. So not being able to get to a next level is a very real density. Stuck financially, not able to scale. Lack of financials and depending on an oppressive system. This is societal, institution, or government for financial well-being, and seeing billionaires being bad for the sustainability of the world. There's this one guy that buys like a whole bunch of like Amazon and stuff like with his money, and buys forests. I forget his name, but I just love him. That's amazing, Cody, but that's like a lot of words, and it's powerful. So I'm gonna like sum it up here in like freaking societal conditioning. Like we cleared that in this, and it's so important. It's the way that we literally have these systems all around us that just make us feel like there is no financial well-being. What are you talking about? I can look out my window or look on the news, whatever. I can look at my family and myself. You know, like it's a thing in our head. It's like, don't tell me that there's financial well-being, because there's, you know, oppressive systems and institutions and governments that are making it not so, especially when we go globally, right? We're having issues here in a first world country, right? When we start to think about other places in the world, it's messed up. And it's a big, dense block in our energetic bodies. This is why this is why the conditionings is so important in this as well, to not leave that out. You have to clear the way that the conditionings are affecting you. They're all pretty harsh, but societal is a big one. Religious is probably one of the other big ones. Again, they're all important. Yeah, you have money, but it's fleeting. Money won't stay and you'll be poor again. So lack cycle. Here one day, not the other. This also goes back to being fulfilled, so we don't feel like we can actually enjoy it. And it goes back to the saving for a rainy day, right? Or feeling I'm going to be poor again. Same thing like with why like the hunger thing's coming up. I can't spend money on this. I might need money for food one day. It's a huge energy of not actually feeling fulfilled in your body. Here one day, not the other. This is also why, again, we're clearing, guys. We're clearing. Every time I write one of these down, it's like we're clearing, right? The codes are still with us. The release, the transmutation and dissolution, as well as the harmonization, they're still with us. What was I gonna say? This is why one of my big manifestations and the things that I work on is recurring revenue. I don't want 10K months. I want every month, recurring revenues, right? I'm building my energy body up to be sustainable, to be in the energy of this repeat life, right? This repeat cycle that, of course, it comes back in. It's only natural that it would come back in. If I can do it one month, I'm obviously going to do it the next month, right? Being in that energy instead. And it's not easy, again, it's easier for me now because we're getting all this other crap out. And that's what you have to do, is get all this other crap out. Yeah, fear that I'll have to depend on others. Yeah, Allie, I'm just gonna like, yeah, that was basically, yeah, feeling guilty about spending money on anything that isn't necessary to survive. You guys can just see how these are themes. But this is also actually why it's cool to do collective ones. Having to choose between being stable and unfulfilled or happy and broke. Yes, yes. Yes, and not in this world. That's bad. We're both and energy, right? Yeah. And that's God, it's such a societal thing too, where we are like literally trained to like grow up and to be robots, right? Like if you tick off all these boxes and get that good 9-to-5 job, right? You're gonna have enough kinda to make end meet. You're probably month to month, but you're probably going to be like paying those core necessity, those core bills. But now if you want vacations and shit like that, or if you like want to grow into something that actually makes you happy, now it's sketchy. Now it's this whole unseen world because you weren't programmed and trained to follow other boxes besides, you know, school, higher school, get the good job, you know, stay in line. So that's a huge thing where it's like, you know, yeah, or I can, you know, live in a van down by the river, but I'll be happy, right? Everybody in their van adventures now. Not saying it's a bad thing. I follow them. It's, you know, good for you, live in a van, man. But that's also not like the only way. So, okay, beautiful. My page is pretty full, so I'm going to read these out and then we're going to get into the neutralization just so that I'm not ignoring them and they're added, right? I'm actually going to sip some water first because I talk. Guilt over having money. Yes, that's huge. That is wrong if I have money and others do not, but I need to have money to give money. Exactly. Who's Abraham Hicks or somebody, right? Can't be poor enough to help a poor person, right? Like that's what we think. It goes back to martyr and even piousness energies with that, right? But it doesn't make any sense to be sad and depressed and poor yourself because other people are sad and depressed and poor, right? Wanting to reclaim financial independence again. Yes, owning it. I can't drive. Oh, you can't drive in dreams either. I'm stuck in the back seat and there's no... That's like, maybe you should look into that, Christy, because it was an epiphany. So it's like feeling out of control. And now that we know that that's what our subconscious is trying to tell us, especially with no driver. There was something about no drivers, I think, or like you couldn't control it. But look into that, Christy. Once things come into your awareness, my friends, which is literally what this is, man, it's like, look at the awareness, look at the way that I can nurture you and I can see you now. I know what genetic lineage, I know if it came from a past life, I know where it came from in my childhood, I know where you're hiding out of my body. Now I can love on you, I can reclaim all this beautiful energy into your life, I can release you because I know you, I'm aware of you, and I can do what I need to do energetically, and then yes, maybe like divine action and stuff as well, but most of the healing and the pizzazz comes from the energy that my body can't physically handle going back to work because of chronic pain. That's a huge thing again too, where it's like because we're tied into just these boxes, right, where it's like, oh well, I can only make money if I do this certain thing. People can treat you badly if they think they have financial control over you, and you have to take it. Like, you can't set a boundary of respect when the person has control of your income. It's how you get money. Yeah, you ever had a crappy boss, right? Like, this is like relationship-wise as well in many cases. Unhealthy, right? Relationships, but also unhealthy boss, job relationships, and you think that you can't quit because it's your money. Having more than someone else isn't okay. Yeah, huge. Feeling like having more than someone else isn't... Facebook in your comments. Feeling like when I try and scroll, they like shoot it up. Feeling like having more than someone else isn't okay, guilty of having. You and Christy are like online with each other. Self-sabotage fears, I'll blow all my money. Yes, yes, yes. That's huge. That you need to be in a busy job that is miserable to make a lot of money. Yeah, huge. Again, societal conditionings, not being able to do what you love and make a lot. Yeah. Oh, I have a dreams from a driver before. Yeah, Jesse, look it up too then. There was a reason why I was called to bring that up today, right? But, you know, honestly, like the Aura Akashic Alignment Academy is literally taking back control of our lives. This is saying, this is stuff that was like in aspects of me that I didn't really know what was going on or where it was. And now I get to bring it into light. And now I get to choose or really ask, like Source itself, what is the most corrective, harmonizing frequency, in this case content. We're getting the beautiful content energy that's still filling us up, that is going to dissuade and to release and to continue to neutralize, which is what we're about to do here, the discord of unfulfilled as well of all of this. So in this beautiful third aspect, it's kind of the program dump. What we do now is we ask, I highly doubt it's going to say so, but let me bring up my chart again. We ask, once you perform the program dump, you ask, are we ready to release more today? No. It's honestly semi-rare. I would say 80% of the time we're not ready to release more. Because if it said we were ready to release more, what we would have done is then asked the pendulum to circle, to move to one of these things. To move to one of the most negative, what you say, like, what is the most negative program that is affecting the collective or our body, right? And then you would have done an entire other AAA session on it, starting back from release. So again, that can be super helpful when it's like a really big thing, but most of the time energetically, like, this is so powerful that our bodies need to integrate this, right? It's very big energy work, what we just did. Having this released from our bodies and quantum selves, and then even those harmonic energies coming in to replace it. But we don't just leave this crap stirring down here, because we just brought it up from our subconscious or our consciousness, right? We allowed it to come through. So what we do, we're going back into energy here, my friends. Okay. The frequency code neutralization is beginning now. Neutralization has to probably be one of my favorite codes. Think about like 0 point energy, stillness energy. I mean, my voice just got calmer, stiller, if you will. So it just feels really good. Very balanced, very calm, again, very neutral. It's coming through and it's just taking all the edge, you know, all that really like raw, fiery, harmful, negative energy that each one of these things, and even the ones that were here that I didn't write down, we're neutralizing them. You know, no matter where they were in the body or where they were in your quantum self, the frequency of neutralization itself, which is a law of the universe, is coming in and counteracting the negative, harmful, discordant, false frequencies that are these beliefs, because they are false frequencies. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite codes. It's just circling around everything. I'm going to let this play out here for us, you know, just for Just for a little longer. I'm feeling a lot of tension in that abdomen and stomach, even like the sides. I almost want to tap into like kidney energy. There's a lot of fear, right, that comes from the kidneys, as well as that mid-low back that's being assisted with this neutralization. Because in many cases, again, while it doesn't always have to be the case, a lot of this stuff that we brought up probably was affecting the solar plexus as well. Right? Because that's your will. It's your divine will in form. And these things that we talked about here are very much not letting us be in, right? Not letting you be in your full power, in your divinity, expressing yourself and living the life that you want, that you desire, that you deserve. So I'm going to ask here that the frequency code of neutralization, as well as any of the other frequencies that are best utilized for each one of these sacred souls and everybody who will ever be called to this work, to continue to mingle with each other, to harmonize with each other, and to bring great relief and release, as well as great shifts, noticeable transformations in each one of these souls' lives, letting them become aware of the beneficial and harmonizing energies that have now been brought into their lives and are helping them flow into a more stable and healthy arena of financial well-being, to be content in their financial lives. All right. So that's the gist. I know it might not seem like a gist. So one of the things, yeah, Jody, I quite agree, and I'm so glad you enjoyed it. One of the disclaimers, if you will, with the Aura Akashic Alignment Academy is that it's not a tiny thing. It's not a quick fix. Right? If you want to come into this work, these sessions that you'll be doing for yourselves, right, are like 60 to 90 minutes. But on the other side of that is your healing and your manifestations. I haven't even gathered like all of the beautiful work and testimonials that came in from first rounds, but people like got work at home jobs, like they were trying to get out of their corporate gig. And then I think it was like the second week. So we didn't even get, and this is the thing, so many times, so many beautiful testimonials were coming in the Aura Akashic Alignment Academy. We don't even get into this, what you guys just got to do, like learning this, until like module 5. Because I need you to go through the harmonization process first. There's like 21 codes, frequency codes. We have 7 Auric layer codes that you'll go through. And then there's like divine intuition and trust. There's like hand vortexes, feet vortexes, because we're also activating your innate gifts and your superpower abilities to be a divine dowser, to be a divine healer, right? To really step into your gifts. So there's a lot of work, energy frequency transmissions that come before the modality even really gets passed on. But people were still experiencing massive wins before that. So anyway, I'm sorry. So like she got a work at home job for double her salary. Like doesn't have to, and has been trying to manifest this for years. And it just like overjoyed me. And we're talking about like addictions cleared, right? It's not just money. And this is why it's healing and manifesting. Because honestly, even if it's like stuff that you want to heal in your body, it is manifesting. You're manifesting the more whole body, the more healed body, right? So you'll see me talk about stuff like there's going to be a 3-day event coming up probably at the end of June called Embody the Master Manifester. But it's very much so like, yes, for your financial dreams and so on and so forth, but also everything else that you're working on. So yeah, so this is what it is. thank you for being here, feeling so relaxed and letting go. Love, love, love. Floating is a no heavy feeling. So one, all of the codes and really releasing that deep stuff are helping you with that. But yeah, like really ending on that neutralization code when you get to be in like 0 point energy. It's so good. So much childhood trauma released. This is probably my biggest wound and feels like I just awoke from a bad dream now that's softly fading away. Christy, my friend, much, much, much love to you. Guys, this is really, really deep work. And this is why I wanted to really go on that edge of like, it's very much healing as well. So like, obviously, like I was very happy when I saw finances wanted to come up because it's a big thing that we do want, and being financially well off can help with a lot of areas, but I don't want anybody to discount that like coming into this work can't feel like a complete miracle work for the other aspects of your life, for your emotional life, for your mental life, for your spiritual life, for activating your spiritual gifts. It's super amazing for that. You're welcome so much. Feeling calm after a crazy day. You're so welcome. Yeah, so what I would love to leave you with, feel free to friend me, to reach out to me. There is also an early bird going on for the Aura Akashic Alignment Academy. We'll officially start probably sometime in July. There is going to be a masterclass coming again at the end of June. But from now until June 3rd, I have this course like 40% off. I'm not making too big of a hubbub. I'll make like a couple of posts here and there about it, but it's more like, it's almost like a gift, you know, here and now, especially for you guys, and to anybody who sees those few posts, who's caught into it. And then once I go like full on and like, hey, the Aura Akashic Alignment is back, it's going to be back up to its full rate. It's a 3-month mentorship process, mentorship and full-on healing modality that is being passed on to you. Again, I think it's like 21 powerful codes. There's going to be weekly either mentorship calls or transmission calls where we like do full releases like this, but we're going into the aura. I know new things are going to come forth, but last round, like we did like physical, etheric. Ah, that scared me. My baby just tried to get in. Hold on, baby. Mommy's still on her call. I'll be out in a couple of minutes. So we did some really powerful clears with the aura, because when you're getting out the core discord from those, big shifts come. Again, this is why people were seeing wins before I even taught them the modality, right? Just from the frequency codes, which is normally seen in this work with these codes. So, yeah, I think that's what I have. The other thing is that I am going to invite people into, I didn't get a full write-up on, but I am going to have like a 3-week masterclass with a kind of live series like this. And it'll be based again around money. I know one is soul client attraction, and then the one receiving itself, because it's such a huge wound. Receiving good at all is a big thing that wants to get cleared, and we'll do something else, and I'm going to offer that for like 11111 or something. Again, really reasonable, if you will. I'll probably have a slight upgrade if you want to add on the money worthiness masterclass, which again is like, people saw very big wins with that one, and I charged $111 for that alone last year. So yeah, lots of little prizes for you guys, because this was so much fun. I probably will offer this to my personal group too, but you guys are the first hearing it. I will drop links as soon as I hit send on this. Please do reach out with any questions that you have. Go ahead and PM me about, learning more about this modality. If you guys felt this and loved it and you want it in your life forever, I would dare say reach out before 6/3, because you're going to save big, if you do so. Of course, payment plans are always available as well, so you'll see links to that. this lack of financial well-being, exactly what I've been trying to release lately, and was heavy in my mind today. I'm very grateful. Very cool, Jesse, because it was just like I said, lack landed in today. And then, like I said, it wasn't complete. And I always get that through muscle testing as well. I do that with my hands, with muscle, like active muscle testing. And then I was just hitting the other words. And once it came out, I was like, oh, nice. Lack of financial well-being. Let's go. So I'm really happy that that 100%, you know, as a gift to this beautiful collective, to all of you all of you that will ever be on. I'll go ahead and leave this here. And I hope to see some of you guys soon and hear from some of you soon. Much, much, much love. Bye.